Hey there, and welcome back to Threads of Voices. I'm Nikita Turk, and this is a space where creativity, community, and purpose all come together through honest conversation. Each episode, we'll sit down with artists, designers, and community leaders to explore how art and humanity weave together, because every story is a thread in something bigger. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by Eugene Kim, multidisciplinary designer and educator at Pratt Institute, whose work bridges design, mentorship, and the power of creative education to shape the next generation of thinkers and makers. So, Eugene, I kind of like to start with understanding your why. So, what was it that pulled you into the world of art and design? Like, why did you decide this is where you wanted to focus your creative energy?
Yeah, thanks for that question. I'm Korean American. I was raised in both Korea, South Korea, and United States, and having parents. My mother was a fashion designer and fashion design professor, and my father, being also a professor in Korea, majoring in economic and business. And they both studied in New York. My dad studied at NYU. My mother studied at FIT, and they lived in Brooklyn back in the 80s. So just seeing them and their career really opened up my eyes about teaching and what it means to be teaching. And so from early days, I really looked up to my parents, and I really loved that they were teaching, they were professors in their fields. My dad being more of a business person compared to my mother being in a creative professor, I naturally just gravitated towards design. I love sketching. I love seeing my mother sketch. Her sketches were so wonderful. So I just organically, ever since I was little, loved sketching and doing something with creative. And my parents were very supportive of that. My parents really supported me and my passion to teach and being designer. So I studied abroad. I moved back to the United States to get a degree in industrial design. And then the rest is history. I've been working at design agency, consulting agencies, specialized in product industrial design. And throughout my career, I was fortunate to work for corporates, design agencies, and in-house design team. And the rest is history. Yeah.
Wow, design is in your blood.
Well,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you were pretty
uh,
much built for this, right?
yeah.
Did you ever get to sort of kind of trail along with your parents to work or things like that when you were little?
Uh-huh. Absolutely. I have some great fond memories of my mother teaching fashion design. And I went to her students' thesis show and just seeing her students and how involved she was of giving back to them and taking care of them and opening doors for them and seeing that energy coming from the students and their beautiful work really sparked my attention, and
Right.
I saw what it means to be teaching early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Is there any big differences that kind of stand out to you when you think about working and studying in Korea versus the United States in this space?
Mhm. A lot, actually, especially in art and design. In Korea, it was quite unique. It was kind of being formed as I was growing up. I'm in my early mid 40s right now. So 25, 30 years ago, when I was studying art and design in Korea, it was very rooted in this European way of
Mm,
passing a test, of doing a lot of exams, and everybody had to draw the same figures, and whoever draws better gets accepted to the universities. That way of learning art and design got me really discouraged. And that's when I decided to move back to United States and pursue my art and design um, through American teaching and how we value creativity versus just the craftsmanship skill set of drawing something better than the competitor.
yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you
Yeah.
feel like you have a lot more creative freedom here.
Mhm. Now I think
Cool.
it changed a lot. I think Korea has really evolved It's a really fast-paced culture back in Korea. So they are now more creative, I feel like, and creative schools and universities are really challenging unique perspectives. There are a lot of young up and coming designers out of Korea who's doing a great job. But just 20 years ago, it was quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
evolution is happening.
that's right.
Um, so a lot of your work touches on packaging as a form of communication.
Hmm.
How do you think that packaging design influences how people feel about a product,
Hmm.
like before they even buy it or use it?
Totally. In our industry, we call it FMOT. It stands for first moment of truth. Packaging is all about that first moment of truth. That is the first touch point where the consumer gets to touch and experience your communication. So the way I look at it is packaging design is essentially the first voice of your communication. A storytelling to your audience, to your consumer, starts from packaging design. Everything from the secondary folding carton, unboxing experience, all the way down to that dispensing or the plastic or metal that holds your product is all part of your opportunity to tell your story. So I
Yeah.
really find that really exciting. The materiality, the consumer usability, um, longevity, sustainability, those things really makes packaging design such a unique but exciting world.
Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. I'm definitely the person that cool packaging was designed
yeah,
for. Like I will
yeah,
buy I will buy something because it's in a cool package. And
that's
like
right.
there's been plenty of times that I've had something shipped to me in like a beautifully
Mm,
designed box. I'm like, I can't
mhm.
get rid of this box. This is like such a cool box. This is a great box. So it's
Totally,
working on me.
totally. Yeah.
um, so in your experience at Pratt,
Hmm.
how does design help your students tell their own stories, especially students who maybe they don't always feel like they're
Hmm.
seen in the traditional academic space?
Hmm. That's such a good question. I do think that students, when they're at academic settings, they're just experimenting. They're trying to figure out their voice. They're trying to figure out how they fit in. They're not so sure about what their career path is going to be, but they're always trying new things. And I love interacting with students who doesn't have any knowledge of packaging design. They came into the academic program just knowing that they want to be within the art and design field, but still exploring their opportunities. Usually, those students are the ones who are really bringing newness and a new approach to designing things and thinking in such a creative, unique way. Um, so I think it brings those students an opportunity to bring their voice in a platform that they're not comfortable with, they're not used to, and oftentimes, more times than less, something cool and unique comes out of that. And it is my job to work with them and kind of instill some guardrails and kind of encourage them to really push the boundaries, but also understand some of the parameters
Yeah,
as package. Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you talked about this a little bit, but I know that Pratt's program is pretty unique in this
Hmm.
space, this packaging
Hmm.
design coursework. How do you work with your students to help take some of that
Hmm.
raw creativity that you were talking about and help
Hmm.
them find ways to channel that into actual effective
Hmm.
storytelling in their work?
Absolutely. That's the most exciting part about our unique packaging design program within the communication design curriculum. We still make sure that all the students understand the importance of communication and communication design, but we do set a pretty clear boundaries, parameters of them. Give them a clear objectives of what this project is for. We have a target audience, we have a consumer in mind. So we kind of set the parameter from the beginning. So, and the students are always challenging that parameter. They want to bring their personal drive into it. So that's where, as an instructor or professor, you tell them that as a designer, you do need to be able to work within the parameter. And if you do have a point of view that's so strong that you passionately want to push forward, we challenge them to convince us, tell the story why your point of view breaks the box, the boundaries. And that's how I usually work with my student. And it oftentimes it really works with a lot of students.
Yeah. I imagine that's such a challenging
Yeah.
exercise for someone who's just got this raw artistic talent
Yep.
and is just like super creatively inspired by everything to
Mm-hmm.
actually have to channel that and play within these guidelines to do what you're saying. Like if you're trying to reach a specific target audience,
Mm-hmm.
creativity is great, but not to the point that it doesn't speak to who you're trying to speak to.
Totally. And I think
Yeah.
because I'm in the industry, I'm working full time in the industry. I try to bring a lot of the industry knowledge. I sometimes bring in guest lectures and industry experts to kind of give the students a little bit exposure to what's really happening in the industry. And that really gets them excited. That really have students think, oh, those are the possible materials and parameters I can use. Oh, that's the engineering challenges you're going to run into. And having that access and someone to talk to from those subject matter experts really enables them to think within the boundaries or the parameters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
actually seeing the things that you're teaching, like
Hmm.
seeing real world applications of that. It's not just you
Totally.
telling them this because you want to tell them this. Like, this is actually this is
Yeah,
actually applicable to the work you'll be doing someday.
exactly. Yeah.
One thing that's just really heavily been on my mind in a day
Hmm.
of environmental impact being at the forefront of conversation, how
Hmm.
do these sort of conversations factor into your design process and
Hmm.
how you approach curriculum planning for your students?
That is pretty much in the forefront of every single curriculum and every single project and every single project brief. Always has that in the top priority. The industry and also the educational scene should truly speak sustainability and purpose-driven approach to these problem solvings. And the industry is rapidly evolving, but sustainability is on the forefront of those drives. European nations, the EU, is banning a lot of the plastics, and they are the driving force of sustainability initiatives. So a lot of consumer products that I work with in an industry that I'm in has a clear deadline to convert everything to a sustainable material.
Oh,
So
wow.
I need to teach the students of what's happening in the real world and why it's so crucial to focus on the sustainability when they're problem solving or designing. And oftentimes it's such a big topic. If you don't break it down into smaller pieces, students tends to really have a hard time digesting what it means to be sustainable. So I try to bring a lot of it in a smaller pieces, break it down to 5R: recycle, reduce, repurpose. There's a lot of way to be sustainable and kind of challenge them which direction you want to take, and really break it down into a digestible project so that they can really take it and come up with their approach to be more sustainable.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Hmm.
Sustainability has kind of become almost like a
Uh-huh.
keyword
Yep.
that people
Yep.
are just throwing out there,
Yep.
and it can mean a lot of different things to a
Hmm.
lot of different people. Like,
Hmm.
some people think of the actual,
Hmm.
elements that are within this packaging, but for other
Hmm.
people, sustainability might talk about
Hmm.
the workforce that went into
Hmm.
making this and how
Totally.
sustainable that is. So that's so interesting. There's so many components. That's true. So you break it
Totally.
down between
Yeah.
all of these different things so that they're
Yes.
thinking about that.
Yep.
How do you kind of stay up to date on some of these? Like I had no idea about the European
Uh-huh.
strategy of,
Mhm.
setting these dates. How do you stay up to date on those things and make sure that your students, once they leave the nest and are out there in the world,
Mhm.
how they stay up to date on those things too?
That is such a good question because it is evolving as we speak. The objectives and then the key milestones that were set together just a few years ago is changing too. And each country has their own objective, and everybody is paying attention to the European countries of their approach to sustainability. But during COVID and during the downshift of economy, when business is not doing good and they don't have the budget to allocate for the R&D budget of exploring sustainable approach, things tend to shift. So I have seen industry where that buzzword of we are investing a lot of money in sustainable supply chain or sustainable material has diminished significantly lately. So it's kind of discouraging, but I still try to instill the same objective and importance of sustainability to my students because I know it's going to come back. And it's kind of unfortunate that sustainability tends to be used as a marketing buzzword or something that's afterthought. And I think that's where a creative designer have an opportunity of being a thought leader, of truly bringing sustainability from the initial concept brief stage all the way to the execution. And we can be the leader in working with engineers, supply chain, logistics, and manufacturer to bring sustainability to the forefront. So I think this is truly my passion. There is opportunity to truly bring students in this field where they could be the leader in sustainability. But I think it's a lot about knowledge, what's happening, what kind of manufacturer are pioneering this field, and I get that information by staying connected to vendors, suppliers, trade shows, talking to conferences, oftentimes, catching up with industry mentors and colleagues. And that's what I like to bring to the table to the students as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. I love that you're
Hmm.
helping give them the foundation
Hmm.
to incorporate this kind of line of thinking into the
Yeah,
work that they go out and do someday. I think that that's our future, right? Like
100%.
you're teaching
Hmm.
the next
Hmm.
generation of designers and
Hmm.
creators. So the fact that they're thinking about this is pretty cool. Well, since we're talking about buzzwords,
Hmm.
AI,
Yeah.
AI and all these digital tools are reshaping the creative industries. So,
Hmm.
how do you go about balancing
Hmm.
innovation with the
Uh-huh.
importance of foundational, still hands on learning?
Hmm. You're absolutely right. AI is completely changing the dynamics of everything from teaching, learning, executing, and grading. So we cannot get away from it. So if you cannot get away from it, might as well enjoy it. And that is my motto. Even 3, 4 years ago, after COVID, I remember augmented reality and virtual reality was the biggest buzzword, and I stayed connected to companies like Gravity Sketch, who was pioneering the three-dimensional virtual reality way of designing. You put a little headset on, and you use a little joystick to design things in three-dimensional. I try to really play around with that and try to see how we can use this and leverage this for students to be more creative. But that already has shifted away. Now it's all AI. Right now, AI there are few tools like Viscom, Midjourney, OpenAI, obviously, Figma. All these tools are now incorporating AI into their software. And one of the tools that I'm using at my current industry, at my current job, at the design agencies, is called Viscom. Viscom is an AI tool designed for designers who are creating physical stuff, like automotive designers, industrial designers, product designers and package designers are using this AI tool called Viscom. And design agencies and in-house designers are using it daily as we speak. So I bring that knowledge into Pratt and to my students and really get them to understand what's happening in the industry as we speak. So my approach is you do need to adapt. You do need to learn the new tools. If everybody was so used to using Photoshop and Illustrator for designing, now you need to learn Viscom. You need to learn these new AI tools to stay up to date. But I do worry sometimes, and I do caution my students of using AI from early stage, concept stage. A lot of students will come to a class and show me a beautiful rendering of a concept that they like. And I really discourage them to use these AI tools from a concept stage. Because my worry is if you already see a beautiful rendering that you just put in some prompt engineering words of the vision you have, that really took away your ability to think creatively and problem solve on your own. So I try to tell my students not to use AI for concept building early stage, but use the AI for delivering executional final deliverables. And I truly think that AI tool is going to be used more and more for final miles, like that final touches of making your concept look photorealistic and be presentable to the decision makers. That's where the AI should be used, not from early stage. You have a vision, you got to pick up your pen and pencil and draw it on a napkin or on a piece of paper. You got to do that. I still truly believe in picking up a pencil and drawing some doodles on your piece of paper is so much more valuable than just picking up your mouse and typing in some prompt engineering words. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that that's honestly, that's probably true of a lot of industries. I mean, I think that AI isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and finding ways to embrace it and incorporate it into your process is important for all. And I love what you were saying about not using it at the concepting phase. I feel like that's the phase that needs the heaviest human hand to it. It's going to
100%.
be what creates, it's going to be, I guess, what keeps creativity in the world, right? And keeps everything from being a complete carbon copy of everything else. Yeah.
Totally. And there's a lot of conversation around IP ownership as we speak in the industry. And a lot of conversation is leaning towards giving that IP ownership to the creator who used the AI tool to have that vision come to life. And I think that's a really strong um, concept for students to understand that our students at Pratt are learning how to be a creative thinker, a problem solver, and AI is just a tool to get their vision and their problem solving objective come to life.
I love it. AI is
Yeah,
just a tool.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the quote. That's the line. That's
That's
perfect.
right. Yes. Yeah.
So here at Threads of Voices and in our nonprofit Mentor Promise, mentorship is a huge theme. So from your perspective, how can institutions like Pratt create more equitable pathways into these creative careers?
Mhm. I think having more people like me who is in the industry, speaking and living and breathing day to day of working in the industry, and having that bridge, that connection, is so crucial. I love the opportunity that I got from studying at Pratt. I got my master's degree in design at Pratt, and the opportunity that opened up was astronomical. The professors opened up and recommended me opportunities. I started doing few projects with one of the faculty members, and they connected me to another industry professional executives, and that network is everything. And being involved on these stuff with the faculties and industry executives open up so many doors. And now I'm giving back. I am in the industry, in design field in New York and New Jersey, and I love being part of the Pratt community, and staying connected to the up and coming, rising, striving designers. And their eyes open up when they have an opportunity to talk to someone who's living and breathing designs at in-house or agency. And there's so many different ways to pursue your career, and being able to hear that from a first person perspective really brings that, just like you said, thread of network and connections and community, um, yeah, to Pratt.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really important to
Mm-hmm.
meet people who have been through it,
Mm-hmm.
and who
Totally.
have had the
Yeah.
struggles, and you made it through, and it's,
Yeah.
helped
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
career continue to grow and blossom. I
Mm-hmm.
also think that it's, at least for me
Mm-hmm.
as a person of color, like it's comforting for me to see someone like me in
Mm-hmm.
a field that I'm trying to venture into or get into, like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that person did it. This is
Yeah.
possible. I can do this.
Yeah, totally. And also, I'm a Korean American. My parents were studying abroad. I'm an American citizen, but I see a lot of international students as well. And I see a need for them to stay connected, and they want to be involved. They want to see how they can actually get their first foot into the creative world in New York City. It is the Mecca. This is
Yeah.
where all the best industry, companies and agencies are, and they want to
Yeah.
be part of it, but they're not sure how to get in there. And being able to represent and really bridge that connection is quite rewarding for me, because I feel like I'm giving that opportunity for them to feel less, um, yeah, less scared.
Yeah. Less
Yeah,
scared and less alone. It's all
that's
about like
right.
that community in the
Right.
city of dreams. Is that what New York is, the city of dreams?
Or some people call it concrete jungle, but sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Either way.
Yes. Yeah.
um, so Eugene, you stay really busy. You're juggling Pratt,
Mhm,
you've got your
mhm,
own personal projects.
mhm,
What's really lighting you up right now? What's
mhm,
something that you are
mhm.
especially excited about?
Yeah, I think for me, just like you said, I am juggling many things. I work for my own design agency. I just recently started my own brand called Hey Skin. It is a sunscreen brand, but Hey Skin means in Korean, a literal translation is sun, but also it also has a duality meaning of just do it. Hey in Korean means just do it. And it's such a motivational word for me during some of the hard times and not knowing, am I doing it right? Should I be doing this right? That hey, that verb mean hey really motivated me to just keep going, just do it. You love it, just keep doing it. So I started this brand called Hey Skin 3 months ago, and I'm really trying to bring this brand um, to the world of beauty. So that's kind of like my passion project. I'm partnering with my wife, who's a creative director as well, to really actively promote this brand. And that's been one of my most exciting project right now as we
Yeah.
speak. Yeah,
How perfect that hey skin, like the meaning of it in
yeah,
Korean, but also like the English translation,
yeah.
like
That's
refers
right.
to like hey skin.
That's right.
Um, so what is it about
Mm,
this sunscreen that sets it
mm,
apart from
mhm.
the average sunscreen that I'd get off the shelf right now?
Two things. It's definitely rooted in the Korean beauty, K-beauty. Being a Korean American, and having that cultural background of the importance of taking care of your skin is taking care of your wellness, has been instilled in me and my wife. She's also Korean American. So we saw an opportunity of really doubling down of that K-beauty formulation innovation, but really bringing a purpose to it. It's so much more than just being trendy and finding the new formulation and launching a brand. Both being in a creative background in New York City, we wanted to be more purposeful and also encourage the daily active lifestyle. I'm a half marathon runner. I'm hoping to run my full marathon this year.
Wow.
And my wife is a big Padel player. So we saw an opportunity to have a brand that tells the audience to stay active. And staying active is taking care of your wellness and your skin. So that is kind of the overarching brand. But our formulation is easy to carry. It's small and portable. It's a sun stick that you can carry around every time you're going out for a run or playing a tennis. So that's kind of
Yeah.
like our niche area, and we're
Yeah.
really excited about it.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
So, what have you learned? Because, like, I know that you've primarily been focusing on packaging and
Mm-hmm.
that element of it. So, this is a little bit different of a journey for you, like working with
Uh-huh.
formulations and things like that.
Totally.
So, what have you learned during that process? I've got to imagine that's been an
A
interesting
lot,
ride.
a lot. We need another 2 hours podcast session to go over all the pitfalls and the failures and the mistakes I made. You know, talking to potential investors, to talking to formulators, talking to a PR agent, talking to marketing fractional executives. The whole journey has been a big learning experience, and it really kind of exceeded my boundaries of comfort zone, but it's still right going back to my brand of just do it, just
Yeah.
keep going out there. You believe in it, you love it, that's your passion, you got to keep pushing. So a lot of people throughout my industry that I stay connected to have been helping me. So
Love it.
I'm like a sponge. I'm learning so much. I'm using every single tool like AI to ask a lot of questions and try to learn as fast as I can. So it's been a quite exciting journey. Yeah.
Yeah, that is exciting.
Yeah.
And, I'm a big proponent of like getting pushed outside of your comfort zone and
Mm-hmm.
doing things that are hard and
100%.
uncomfortable. That's how we grow as people, right?
100%. Yes.
Cool.
That's right.
Well, before we wrap, just one last question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could leave one thread, one
Mm-hmm.
message, or a practice for the next generation of artists to
Mm-hmm.
carry forward, what
Mm-hmm.
would that be?
Just trust in your instinct, trust in your vision, and keep trying, keep adapting. I love the word pivot. It's such a unique word. You're not failing, you're not changing your direction, you're pivoting. You're seeing some pitfalls and you're adapting to those things. And I want to tell everyone to keep pushing, keep believing what you believe, and keep pushing and keep trying. And eventually it will pay off.
Yeah, I love it. Keep trying, keep
Yeah,
pushing. Well,
that's right.
Eugene, thank you so much.
Mhm.
I appreciate the time.
I really enjoyed this. Thank you for
Yeah, it's
having
been so
me.
fun.
Thank you.
Eugene's story reminds us that creativity isn't just about what we make, it's about who we empower along the way. It's opening doors, asking better questions, and believing that education can be an act of transformation. Reds of Voices was born from Mentor a Promise, a nonprofit in New York City where students and families facing housing instability come together to rebuild not just their futures, but their voices. We believe creativity can truly change lives, helping people rewrite their stories and their futures, one idea at a time. You can learn more about Eugene's work at eugenedkim.com. And don't forget to follow us for new episodes. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep finding the threads that connect us all.